Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Between Downs. I'm Mark Herrera. Today I got two special guests, two of my buddies, Seth Tillett and Nicholas Kerslake. I'll introduce them in a second. I'm going to lead off. I'm going to combine the Patriots podcast I usually do along with the NFL one. So I'm going to hit on the Patriots real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we're recording on Zoom, and Zoom only allows you to record up to 30 minutes together. So we're going to do two sessions. So that being said, Patriots played yesterday. Today is Tuesday. So yeah, they played yesterday, Monday Night Football. They played against the Jets. They won 30-27. Um, I mean, it's the Jets. Although the Jets did have all their receivers playing together, all their starting receivers playing together for the first time this season. So of course, offense was going to look a little better, but still, it's the Jets. It's a good win, I guess. I mean, I was kind of hoping we'd lose. I know that's weird to say as a fan, but I mean, we had an opportunity to get the number one pick in the NFL draft, and that's basically gone because we're outside of the top 10 now. And I mean, Cam, he went 27-35, 274 yards, two rushing TDs. He still has not had a passing TD since week 2, I believe. He only has 2 on the season, but his rushing touchdowns are making up for it. Harris, he ended up getting hurt and didn't return, but it was a chest injury. I think he'll be all right. We do get Sony coming back off IR, so if Harris can't go, then Sony will come back. And like I said, I know a lot of Patriots fans aren't a fan of Sony, but I am. I like Sony a lot. But Harris went 71 yards. He had some tough runs. He looks pretty good. He's getting better every game, you can tell. So, I mean, he'll be good for us down the road. Jacoby Myers, like I said in one of my previous podcast videos, I wanted to see more Jacoby Myers because I like Jacoby Myers. He had a good season last year. The games he did play, and he's starting to progress. He on yesterday he turned 24, so he's real young. He had 12 receptions for 169 yards. That was the second most, I believe, as for a Patriots receiver. He just Gronk. He passed Gronk yesterday. Gronk had a 168-yard game. I believe maybe Edelman has it for number one. Either him or probably Moss or Walker. I'm not exactly sure who has it, but Myers looked real good. Uh, he was an undrafted free agent, and we signed him. And N'Keal Harry was our first round pick, and of course, N'Keal hasn't really done anything um, at this point. I don't think he's our in the top 3 of our receivers because once Edelman comes back, of course, he's going to be number 1. Then Myers 2, then Bird 3. Gunner's looking good on the sweeps. Not really a catching receiver at the moment. He'll be 4. I say we convert Harry to tight end, see what he can do there. Help or try to get his blocking better. And because I mean, we need a tight end, and he's a big body, and receiver might not be working out for him. So switching him to tight end will probably be good. Um, but yeah, I like Myers a lot. He's improving every game, and we're gonna need him for this Ravens game. So he's gonna need to step up. Uh, I'm gonna hit on the defense now. Flacco, he went 18 25, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, and of course that one interception. J.C. Jackson ended up intercepting. J.C. didn't have a great game. I believe he allowed 2 touchdowns. I believe, yeah, and that was the first time he's ever done that. At least, yeah, that's the first time he's ever done it. But he did make up his play with the interception. I think he'll come back next week. He'll have a better game next week, I believe. It was just a lot of mental errors that he did. Defense, of course, has not looked good at all this season. They just allow teams to move the ball down the field, and the Jets were just capitalizing. They only hold them to field goals, but the Jets were actually scoring. And granted, that like I said earlier, the Jets did have all the receivers back, and the receivers aren't bad. They have some pretty good receivers, but I mean, our secondary, that's our best part of the defense, and they were our best side of the ball last year. And I don't know, we didn't have Gilmore. He has missed the second game. I think he'll be back for the Ravens. At least we'll need him. But defense has not looked good at all. They gave up 100. They gave up 322 yards of total offense. Flacco had 120 quarterback rating, I believe, something like that. That's just ridiculous. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing. But I don't know. They need to step it up. Next week, so I'm gonna hit on next week now. Next week's game, we got Sunday night against the Ravens. That's pretty much a must-win game. I mean, we're 3-5 right now. We're third in the division. I mean, if you wanted to make a run, of course you showed that you did because you beat the Jets yesterday. So you have to make a run now. I mean, you that win knocked us out of the top 10 for the draft pick. So I mean, you got to do something now. Um, it's not looking good though. We got the Ravens, and after that we got the Texans, Cardinals, Chargers, Rams, Dolphins, Bills, and then Jets. and it's not an easy schedule. It's going to be hard the rest of the way. Uh, Ravens, of course, they're one of the best teams in the AFC. So if you really want to set the tone, you got to beat them. Defense gonna have to contain Lamar. We're giving up way too many rushing yards, and of course Lamar's a rushing quarterback. So what I think you're gonna need to do is gonna need to play a lot of man, and got to have a linebacker spy Lamar, and Gilmore's gonna have to play. He's gonna have to step up, and J.C. Jackson's gonna have to step up. McCourty, both of them, they're gonna have to step up. That you can't let Lamar beat us with his legs, because if he does that, then that's it. I don't think our offense is strong enough to compete with them. We can't go into a shootout with them. Defense is gonna have to play like they did against the Chiefs. That's all it comes down to. Um, I mean, on the offense side of the ball, and to beat this Ravens team, I believe we're gonna have to get James White more involved. He didn't really have a great game. He hasn't had a great game out of all this season, and I think a lot of that comes with, of course, he had the tragedy with his father against Seattle. I think he was gonna be good for us that game, and of course that happened. But we haven't really had him involved at all. I don't know. Rex been more of the catching back this season, but I think we need to get White more involved. Of course, Rex as well. And I don't know who's going to go, Sony or Harris. Hopefully, Harris' injury isn't bad. Hopefully, we can have them both. But I mean, we're going to need to get James White more involved, and I think we'll be all right. And of course, get Myers going again, get him started early. Let Cam open the playbook with them, and just I mean, of course they have a connection there. Bird looked good as well. He almost did score a touchdown. Myers also almost scored as well. So yeah, in order to beat this Ravens team, you're gonna have to click on all cylinders, and you're gonna have to start early. You're gonna have to score in the first quarter. You can't go like the previous games. I know yesterday we did score in the first quarter in the first time this season, but it can't be like the previous weeks. We got to score. We're gonna have to put the ball in the end zone. Of course, I do have a little more trust in Nick Folk now because he did hit the game winner, a 51 yarder, I believe that's what it was. But yeah, I mean, you want to beat this Ravens team, you can't really mess up. That's all it's gonna come down to. And then it's not an easy schedule, so to beat this Ravens team, that's gonna be a real good win. Yeah, if we can win, but I don't see us winning it. I got 30-17 Ravens, but I don't know. I picked us to lose against the Jets because I'm trying to jinx us to win. But yeah, all right. So about to hit on the rest of the NFL. That was me just wrapping up the Patriots and their game yesterday, and of
You
course
want us
for
to
this
hit
week.
anything on the Patriots at all, or
Do y'all want to hit on
you?
anything?
I was just gonna say they're effective moving the ball slowly,
Yeah,
keeping possession. But the one thing that Cam needs to work on is pushing the ball down the field a little more accurate to open up the
yeah.
defense because
A lot of his inaccurate throws. Cause he didn't have many incompletions yesterday, but a lot of his inaccurate throws, he wasn't stepping into the throw. His you can tell his footwork was off balance, and that's I think that comes from mental errors, and I think he corrects that because he'll see it on film that a lot of his throws were inaccurate just because of his footwork. It just he wasn't driving towards the to his target, and I think that'll be corrected.
and I think they're like 100% third and one and fourth and one
Yeah,
on the season,
yeah.
but they missed one last night, but
Oh, that's because
they're very effective.
he tripped. Um, yeah. Nick, do you want to hit on anything before we move on?
I've always been a big fan of Cam, but I've always seen throughout the years how if he gets going, he gets going. But if he doesn't, he's done for the rest of the game. And you've seen that this year too.
Yeah, yeah. I can see. You can see the frustration will start building up, and then he'll start. Kind of was similar what Brady would do. When Brady would get frustrated, he'll try to force something, and it's not there, and you just got to either throw it away. And I think that just comes with frustration. But I don't know. He's known Jacoby since Jacoby was 16, 17. They were at he was a coach for a camp, and Jacoby just turned 24. So there's some connection there. I think once Edelman comes back too as well, I think he's eligible after this coming up game, but he'll probably miss another one. He'll probably be back for the Chargers game, I believe. No, the Cardinals. I mean, he'll probably be back for the Cardinals. So we're gonna need him for that. But I don't know. This offense is slowly getting going. At least I hope so. But that's gonna wrap up the Patriots. And then we're gonna move on to the rest of the NFL. So this past week, I mean, Packers and 49ers, that was a Thursday night game. We don't want to, I probably want to hit on that too much. I mean, it was a blowout. I mean, 49ers aren't going to do anything this season. They lost Garoppolo, lost Kittle. They were just depleted with injuries this year. Packers won that 34-17. Do y'all want to hit on anything? about that game?
Nick.
You know, Aaron Rodgers, time and time again, he shows how good he is. But whenever you have him playing someone like the banged up or false COVID test 49ers, doesn't really show much because they have a bunch of the starters out, and it's not, it shows that the 49ers really don't have it together when they don't have all the starters.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell. I mean, they're not a contender this year at all. So there's that. We are running on a little on short on time. It's 8:55, and I think our meeting is supposed to be at 9. So we're going to have to do another meeting here in a second. So if it cuts off, then of course I'll send the other invite. Seth, do you want to hit on anything about the Packers and 49ers?
Just the fact that when Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones are in the lineup, the offense is totally different.
Yeah, that's what I got in my notes.
When you have your number one receiver and your number two receiver in Aaron Jones, and that offense is just too good.
Yeah.
But they're also playing the 29er, 39er, 49ers, whatever they were.
Yeah.
But I look forward to seeing them play.
Yeah, I mean,
the season.
Yeah, Rodgers and Adams are putting on a show. I don't know. It's going to be interesting seeing them the rest of the season. And of course, when Aaron Jones comes back, or he did come back. Yeah, he did play. But yeah, I don't know. They're a fun team to watch. Of course, I mean, we can hit on this. I'll just say the score. We don't really need to hit on this game. Falcons and Broncos. I just got Falcons avoided a loss. So that was good on their part. They won 34-27. I don't know if y'all want to hit on anything about that.
I was watching that game and I was gonna flip if they gave
they,
away that lead that they had.
Yeah, they almost did.
The only thing I want to hit on is when Julio doesn't play, Matt Ryan doesn't play. When Julio's in the game, he's the number one quarterback.
Yeah.
Julio makes the offense more confidence, shows in Matt Ryan. Just without Julio, Matt Ryan isn't Matty Ice.
Yeah, that's true. All right. I'm probably gonna end this one so we can start another session because I want to hit on the Bills and Seahawks next, and I want to talk a lot about it. I'm pretty sure y'all probably do too because that was a pretty good game. So we're gonna end this one, and then I'm gonna send y'all an invite for the next one. Bills and Seahawks. That was a pretty good game. Bills went ahead early. I believe they went up 21 or 20-0. I'm not sure if they actually got to 21 before the Seahawks scored, but they won 44-34. Of course, Seahawks were playing behind the entire game. They never could get going really, or at least they couldn't get going early. And defense, of course, their defense is terrible. I think they're on pace to give up the most passing yards ever in NFL history. And I mean, it's by a good margin too. I thought they were going to be better once Jamal Adams came back. He's just a glorified linebacker, really. I mean, he can't cover at all. Russell Wilson had 2 interceptions. I mean, you got to give credit to the Bills, though. The Bills are looking good this season. Like Nick, he told me, I guess, in denial. He said they were going to win the division. I told him that they weren't. There's still a chance they don't win it. Yeah, I mean, they look good. The offense is clicking. The defense is, they're pretty solid as well. Seahawks, I don't know. They look like a contender, but that defense, if they don't help Russell, he's not going to be able to take them far. And you can tell by this game, and then of course you can tell by the Cardinals game. They rely on Wilson to bail them out, and teams are starting to realize that, so they're going to attack them, and they're bringing the pressure on Wilson, and you can tell he'll turn the ball over. He will, and he'll take a sack too. I think he's one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league, and I mean, I don't know. They did almost pull off a comeback, but it just wasn't enough. Josh Allen's looking good. Bills are gonna be excited to watch the rest of the way. All right, so I guess we'll go with Nick first. What do you want to say about that game?
So I'm a big Seahawks fan. I'm also a big Josh Allen fan now, and I have no doubt that the addition of Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills this year has elevated Josh Allen's game.
Yeah, he's actually the leading receiver in NFL yards wise right now.
Yeah, Yeah, but Josh Allen, without a doubt, has made great strides this year compared to last year. Wasn't a pretty show last year. This year, it's been looking great. Last two games weren't too terribly good, but this last game he was back on track. And really, this game was all about passing. Really, you had what? You had Zach Moss with 9 rushing attempts for 18 yards. Devin Singletary 2 rushes, 1 yard. DJ Dallas 7 attempts for 31 yards. Travis Homer 6 attempts for 16 yards. I mean, it really was all passing. And what I'm thinking is like, are running backs starting to become obsolete?
Yeah.
Now don't let Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry hear me say that.
Caffrey,
But
I mean, Kamara. I mean,
honestly, yeah.
There's like 4 you can't really replace.
Yeah, and honestly, Seahawks, they didn't have their number 1 or number 2 running back, Chris Carson and
Yeah, that's true.
Carlos Hyde. But if I think if they had those 2 players, I think they win this game.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah,
Maybe.
they didn't really. I mean, they didn't really. DJ Dallas is all right, but I mean, they didn't really have a running game. And to hit on that Zach Moss and Singletary, I did drop Singletary at the last minute and picked up Zach Moss, so that was good on my part. All right, Seth, what do you want to say about this game?
So Tre'Davious White is probably the best corner in the league right now, and you saw that shutting down DK Metcalf. But he had like 4 catches, 60 yards. That's pretty
Gilmore
good game.
basically shut him down. He got 1 lucky play.
He had 7 receptions, 108 yards.
Against
Metcalf?
Gilmore?
Yeah.
Yeah, one was like a 70-yard lucky play though. So take that away.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the Bills defense is actually probably middle pack up in the top of the league.
Yeah.
Seahawks, on the other hand, their defense is pretty garbage.
I think they
Their
might be
offense is very
31st or 30th.
Yeah. So
they're bad.
They're pretty much an offensive team.
Mm-hmm.
You see that they're letting Russell Wilson cook this year.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen was the worst percent thrower downfield last year. So they brought in the best deep route runner in the league, and not Stephon Gilmore. Let me have that in my mind, but Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And that really shows. We all knew Josh Allen had a cannon arm, but he needed a receiver to throw to.
Yeah.
So they upgraded that for him.
Yeah, they'll be a fun team to watch the rest of the way. I'm excited to see the next time they play the Patriots, though. That was a good game when they played them. Patriots almost won that one or tied it up. But is there anything else y'all want to hit on about the Seahawks and Bills? All right, we're gonna move on. Probably not hit too much on this one. This wasn't. I mean, I didn't watch it at all. Titans and Bears. Titans won, of course, 24-17. Titans, of course, they're looking good. I mean, they had a little hiccups here and there. Bears are on the decline. After looks like they play their Super Bowl against the Bucks. That's pretty common for teams to play the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. But I mean, I don't really have anything to say about that game. Do y'all?
I don't think necessarily they're on the decline. They've been in every game they've played. It's just the fact that they don't put up a fight in the first half. They try to come back in the fourth quarter every time. And the Bucks game, it wasn't necessarily a Super Bowl game. You just saw them get stomped 31-0 against the Saints.
That was a fluke.
And
Saints Super Bowl there too.
I think it's going to take a minute. Godwin's going to come back to speed. Brown's going to come in the mix. Evans is always there. He hasn't really shown up this year, but
yeah,
it'll start clicking.
Yeah. You got anything to say about this game, Nick?
The Bears, if they can just get a solid quarterback, I think they're going to the Super Bowl. Honestly, I mean, they have a great defense, and whenever it's not hindered by, I'm being dead serious. When it's not hindered by that offense, you think they can make it to
the Super Bowl out of the NFC?
Yeah, when it's not hindered by that offense, I really think they can. Nick Foles, I mean, good Lord, you see some of his throws, and it's like, where are you throwing? I don't see anyone over there. And sometimes it's straight to a defender. It's like, do you think that's your receiver? What the hell is that?
I think Nick Foles comes in clutch when it's a big game.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, you've seen that.
Yeah,
he's proven that, obviously. But
yeah,
but I don't. It's been a reason why he's been to many different teams.
He's kind of like a Joe Flacco, like Flacco. Playoff Flacco.
Yeah,
it's been back when Flacco was good. Yesterday was pretty good.
Showed that without a doubt.
Yeah,
and it's hard to cover AJ Brown. He's so good, so big
Yeah,
and fast.
yeah. We took Harry over in Brown, and Brown was a Patriots fan. I wanted Brown so bad too. But y'all want to
And
wrap it up with that, or you want to hit on
well,
something
another thing
else?
to prove how good that defense is, they stopped Derrick Henry to 68 yards on 21 rushes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Biggest back in the NFL.
Yeah.
With that speed, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well,
Khalil
they
Mack
do
in
have
his
a
prime is
good
getting ruined.
run stopping defense. All right, we're gonna wrap it up with that one. We're gonna hit on the Ravens and Colts. I watched a little bit of this game. The Ravens, of course, won 24-10. I mean, Colts kept the Ravens in this game with turnovers, and I mean, the Ravens didn't have their best game. The Colts just played bad, and you can't really put it all on Rivers. But I mean, Rivers is not the problem, but he's not the solution. Kind of like what Jason Garrett was in Dallas. I mean, this might be it for Rivers. Him and Breeze. Breeze did all right, but Breeze is on decline as well. But this could be the last we see of both of them. But I mean, I don't really want to hit on. I don't have anything to hit on that game too much, because I'm of course my team sees the Ravens this week, but I mean it wasn't nothing a really special game. I mean I watched a little bit of it, but that's about it. Yeah. All right, Seth, I'll let you go first with this one.
The only thing is Lamar MVP last year. He's not playing to that same standard this year. Their plan is to get the run game going, and when they're behind, you're seeing them not be able to come back historically with Lamar, because if you're behind, you got to throw to catch up, and sometimes Lamar just can't do that.
Yeah,
because he has like what, Marquise Brown or Hollywood Brown, and he has Willie Snead as receivers, and
Dez now
Duvernay they
too.
just signed. But the tight ends aren't going to get you that long touchdown. You got to hit Brown. You got to get him more involved. Have some playmakers get their hands on the ball, and we'll see them probably do way better than they are right now.
Yeah, and to piggyback off what you were saying, how Lamar's not having an MVP season like he did last year. I believe Colin Coward, I think it was Colin Coward because that's who I really listened to, said. And I like Colin a lot because he does give good points. And but he was saying that defenses are starting to catch up to Lamar, and I think he said they're not really like figuring him out yet, but they're starting to catch on, and that's why he's not having really that breakout season like he did last year, or as good of a season he did last year. So I mean, it could be right. I mean, defense are probably are starting to figure him out a little bit. That doesn't mean he won't be a good player going forward, because I still think he's an NFL quarterback. But I mean, he probably just won't be as effective as he was last year. All right, Nick.
It's funny that you brought that up, Seth. I explicitly remember Seth saying that Lamar's not going to have the same year he did last year. But Seth's exactly right. I mean, it seems like Lamar is starting to be more of a tempo back, and like Seth said, they don't have that running game going. Obviously, in this game, they really didn't. I mean, the Indianapolis defense is pretty good, and when that happens, Lamar is forced to do stuff that I guess he doesn't necessarily want to do, or in tempo, and it definitely shows. And as for the Colts, I've never really liked Philip Rivers. I thought he was holding back the Chargers that entire time, and it looks like he's starting to hold back the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah, is T.Y. Hilton hurt, or is it someone just can't get him the ball?
Can't get him the ball.
No. Yeah, I don't think he's hurt. I mean, I know he's usually hurt, but I don't think he's hurt. But
The only people Rivers can hit is Trey Boo Boo Burton and Gigantor, the big old tight end they have.
He can only hit tight ends and running backs. It's either a check down or to a blanket. Hurts my head.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to I mean, this was a pretty good game. I watched a little bit of it. The Chiefs and Panthers. Of course, Chiefs won 33-31. Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs' offense is, of course, they're always going to be good. I mean, the defense isn't all that great, but they are better than they were last year. I'll give them that. But I mean, Chiefs. It's just hard to stop that. It's just hard to stop them because they have too much. They have too many weapons. Of course, Le'Veon didn't do anything. But I think that they might be saving him, but he could just not be the same player he used to be. That's probably
Just
what it
working
is.
him in the offense too.
Yeah, I mean, because he's new to the team, so of course he's not gonna really know all the plays. You kind of seen that with Antonio Brown when there was a miscommunication on one of Brady's interceptions where he ran a stop route, and I believe he's supposed to run a go, and you can just tell. I mean, Le'Veon's new, so he might be getting going later on in the season, but I mean, they have a lot of firepower. And to hit on the Panthers showed they can compete. They could be a contender. I mean, their offense is pretty good. They got three good receivers, and I mean, Robbie Anderson is like fourth in the NFL right now. He's a good fantasy pick that I picked up. But I mean, of course, oh yeah, Christian McCaffrey came back and freaking balled out. And of course, he is hurt again. I'm not sure if he's going to be missing any time. Adam Schefter says it's not looking good, but he's considered day to day. But I mean, Panthers show that they can compete, and I mean, their offense is, of course, the better side of the ball on their team. Um, they'll be a fun team to watch if they can just quit making a little mistakes here and there. They could be a better team. I mean, of course, they were in this game. They had opportunity to go down and win it, and it just didn't happen. All right, Nick,
And
you
they
want to
have
go first on
0
this one?
wins with McCaffrey playing.
Oh yeah. Well, he's only played like 3 games or 2. All right, Nick, you can go first about the Chiefs and Panthers.
I don't know what I was thinking.
It's all right.
Panthers,
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, Seth.
All right, you go,
they
Seth.
have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and they have Curtis Samuel. He comes into the backfield sometimes. He's explosive. They're all explosive.
Yeah.
You've seen what Robbie Anderson can actually do with a good quarterback
Mm-hmm.
and a good head coach that's
Yeah.
not named Adam Gase.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to hit on that Adam Gase thing you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, just a long list of players. Once they get away from Gase, they have good career like Kenyon Drake, Ryan Tannehill, Devontae Parker, Kalen Ballage even had a good game with the Chargers. Le'Veon Bell, obviously with the Steelers, and who knows what happened with the Chiefs, and even the rookie last year, and Mike Gesicki has had a breakout season this year, and Robbie Anderson, of course.
Yeah.
But on the Chiefs side of the ball, you have Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins when he's healthy. They can catch those short, intermediate passes, and then you have Miko Hardman and Tyreek Hill
Yeah.
to take the
I mean,
top off.
just a lot of they have too many weapons. The only way that's been proven to stop them, and the only coach that's been able to do it is Belichick, and he did it 3 times. And of course, they were given a win last year, I believe. But it's by getting it's kind of the way to stop Brady. It's getting pressure to Mahomes, making him try to do too much. That's really the only way, and that means you have to have a good secondary though, because they're gonna have to cover and give the D lineman or a linebacker enough time to get to Mahomes. That's really the only way to beat them. All right,
I
Nick, did
don't
you gather
think
your
you're.
thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna beat the Chiefs without stopping Mahomes. I
Yeah.
mean, the Chiefs didn't even have a running game that game at all. And what do they do? Mahomes over here throwing 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't think you're beating the Chiefs unless you're stopping Mahomes, sacking him, getting to the offensive line, doing whatever you need to get to their guy.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have the receivers open. You have McCole Harmon, Tyreek Hill. They're all really fast. Sammy Watkins, good route runner, big. And even Demarcus Robinson. He's pretty good, and I've seen it. Panthers side, Teddy Bridgewater, I've never really been a huge fan. He had a great comeback, and he's still playing. It's amazing. But, I mean, he went 36 or 49. And, I mean, had to throw 50 times just to keep up with the Chiefs. And even with Christian McCaffrey coming back, it wasn't enough. Obviously, I mean, they kept neck and neck with the Chiefs the entire game. But the Panthers were able to shut down their run game, and they still couldn't beat them.
Yeah. To piggyback off all that, I think the Chiefs are starting to become more similar to the Patriots, and how the Patriots were great all these years. And I think a lot of people are starting to forget about them, including myself. And oh, maybe this team will win the Super Bowl. Maybe this team will win the Super Bowl. Maybe this is the best quarterback in the NFL. And I think we're starting to, that little Patriot effect that you'd always like not really like think about the Patriots because they're always good. I think that's starting to happen with the Chiefs. Uh, I know the Steelers are undefeated, but they really haven't played too many good teams. The Chiefs are still the best team in the
Cowboys
NFL.
are good.
Yeah, okay. Uh, the Chiefs are still the best team in the NFL at the moment. The only team I could think I can compete with them on the offense side of the ball would be the Bucks, and that's only when the Bucks start to get going. And they showed flashes. Everything just has to come together, and I don't know. We'll probably see a Bucks and Chiefs Super Bowl, but I don't know. Chiefs are still the best team in the NFL at the moment.
The
You
best
know,
way to beat the Chiefs is through offense. Don't let them have the ball
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
or
about to
score
say
more
too.
points.
Yeah,
Either one.
yep,
yeah. You got to keep them off the field,
and that's hard.
and the times they were beat because you kept them off the field.
Yep.
And who's the best at doing that? Brady. All right, Vikings and Lions. Vikings won
Oh
34-20.
man.
Dalvin Cook, my savior in fantasy, had another 40 point, or it was like 39, 40 point fantasy game. Their offense hasn't really been all that great passing wise. Of course, they lost Stephon Diggs, and I guess you can tell that he was the bread and butter for Thielen because Thielen hasn't had that great of a season. So when you see he's the number one receiver and getting most of the attention, he's not all that great. And I mean, Dalvin Cook is saving them. They could go on a run here. There's 8 playoff teams this year, and there's something we're going to hit on at the end that I wrote down about the playoffs and something that was approved today by the NFL owners. But I don't know. Vikings aren't great. They're not terrible. They're more in between. But they got to rely on Dalvin Cook at the moment. That's pretty much all I got hit on that game. Nick, you ready to go? This one?
Yeah.
All right.
So I can't say enough about Dalvin Cook. He is that team's leader with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is over there missing his receivers like he likes to do pretty badly. I mean, it kind of looks like Nick Foles out there sometimes. And he also has those great throws. I'm sure that's why they kept him this long.
Yeah.
But if Dalvin Cook's not going, I don't think that team's going to win. And you've
Yeah,
seen
there's
that
no
all
way.
year. But these past 2 games, Dalvin Cook 200 rushing yards in each game. Good Lord, that man is a beast all year. I think he has like a 6 yards per carry all
Yeah.
year. That's crazy.
He's missed a few
He's
games, and he's one of the
really
top
good,
rushers in the
fast,
NFL.
speed. Yeah, Dalvin Cook. You really can't say enough good things about him. He does get hurt every now and then, but it's usually not for too long.
Yeah. Besides that
As
1
long as he
year.
stays pretty healthy, he's going to be leading the league.
Yeah.
And for the Lions, I was really hoping coming into this year that Matthew Stafford, I was all high on Matthew Stafford coming back from his injury and everything, going to be tossing touchdowns left and right.
Well, he has been
And
tossing
that
a
really
couple
hasn't happened too
touchdowns.
much.
It's
Yeah.
he
But
just
it
hasn't
really
been all
hasn't
that
happened that
great.
much. Yeah. Really hasn't been hitting Marvin Jones. Been hitting Kenny Galladay quite a bit.
Yep.
It's his number one receiver. He should be. But it's really hasn't been what I wanted it to be. And, I think they brought on Adrian Peterson, and I think he's starting to slow down DeAndre Swift's, what do you
Carries,
call it?
playing
Yeah.
time.
His play time and
His
his
growth.
development. That's what I meant. Yeah, his growth.
All right, Seth, do you want to hit on that?
Just to piggyback off the Stafford thing, it's like every year it's like if he could just do this, he'd be top tier. It's usually by injuries, but this year Kenny G sometimes he's out. But
Yeah, this is like his
it's
second
just the
time already
fact
being
that,
out
like,
this season.
how many excuses do you need to make for him?
Yeah. And to pick off that, Marvin Jones he's shown to be the number one receiver because last year and the years prior to that, because me and Nick go back and forth with getting him on fantasy, and he scores or at least last year he did. This year is Kenny G. He scores every game. So, it's not
He's
like he
just
doesn't
like
have a receiver.
he's a poor man's Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett's a hit or miss,
Yeah.
but
Lockett.
Marvin Jones is like 1 or 2 games a year.
Yeah.
Lockett's
Yeah.
like 8 to 10 games.
Yeah,
or
I
he
had-
I
disappears.
I had Jones on the bench. He gave me like 11, but I didn't really need him.
Yeah, I remember last year, Marvin Jones almost had 4 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah, he this year is like the only year he hasn't scored like every game. Because when I had him, he was like my number. Like I could rely, like how I'm relying on Kenny G, even though he's hurt right now. He's gonna give me a touchdown. He's gonna give me at
And
least
then
one.
on the Viking side, just to add on to Dalvin Cook. How many long rushing touchdowns have you seen this year
From
that aren't
Dalvin
Dalvin
Cook.
Cook?
Oh, that aren't Dalvin Cook? Not many. Most of them are
Not
his.
many.
Yeah.
He
All right.
can wear the defense, or even in the beginning of the game, just take an 80-yarder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure how long this session is going to last. So if it just kicks us off, we'll just piggyback. I'm not going to end it. I'm going to let it end itself. So we'll just piggyback off where we started. All right. So next, this game we don't really hit on too much is the game Nick got too far ahead. The Raiders and Chargers. Raiders won 31, Chargers 26. Chargers lost another heartbreaking loss. I don't know if it's Anthony Lynn or what. They just can't seem to close it out. And they have a good team. Herbert, they got their quarterback. They got a receiver. Of course, their running back is hurt, so they got a running back whenever he comes back, if he does come back this season. I mean,
That's
and
what hurts them.
Derwin James, yeah, they have a good safety. I mean, they got
They can
playmakers, they
put
got
up a lot
talent.
of points.
Yeah. You got Herbert got into a
They just
shootout
can't.
with Brady. He'll get into a shootout. He's known to throw the ball. I mean, he's kind of like he's similar to a Brett Favre in a way. I mean, he's gonna sling it. But that's
I
that's
mean,
pretty
he's
much all.
6'7".
That's pretty much all I got to say on that on them. I mean,
The reason
Raiders.
why they can't close out games is they can't have long possessions at the end of the game.
Yeah.
They score fast, or they don't score.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
All right. Seth, do you want to hit on anything else on that game?
The Chargers?
Yeah.
No.
All right, Nick, do you want to hit on anything? I know you had something to say.
Yeah, so I've become a big fan of Justin Herbert, and they do score really fast. Justin Herbert has shown that he likes to throw the ball down the field. I mean, 6'7", and he can even run. He's a big arm, and that's good for Keenan Allen and a wide receiver like Mike Williams. I mean, I think that's really what they needed, and that's where Philip Rivers was holding them back. And really, that game, the Raiders were really in control of it the entire time, not really having to throw it as much. And you know what? This Chargers found themselves a new running back in Kellen Balaj.
Yeah.
Or however you say his name. But 15 carries, 69 yards, not bad.
Not bad. All right. We're gonna move on to their team. Steelers and Cowboys. Steelers, of course, won 24-19 in a nail biter, which is kind of the same position that the Patriots are in, even though the Patriots' record isn't that great as the Steelers. But I mean, Cowboys aren't a good team this year. Jets aren't a good team this year, and both teams struggled. Cowboys played their best game by far this year on the defense side of the ball, at least. They put up a fight. I mean, it came down to the very end, of course. Gilbert couldn't clutch it out. And like Jared Jones was saying on 105.3 The Fan today, I don't know if they heard it. I listened to it. When Andy Dalton comes back, he's their quarterback. And they were trying to say, is their quarterback battle once Dalton comes back? And Jared Jones shut that down immediately. He said no. He feels like Andy Dalton will be able to close out them games just because of his prior history. And that even though Gilbert played well, he felt like there were some points left off the board. And to give Dalton the credit, at least you can say he hasn't really played with the line Gilbert got to play with. So Dalton hasn't really had a line because Cowboys linemen they're slowly coming back. They don't have everybody yet, but I mean, Dalton didn't have anything to work with. Another thing I want to hit on before I pass it on to one of them. Big Ben said after the game, he said Cowboys might be America's team, but the Steelers are the world's team. He said he wasn't trying to take no shots, but I don't know. I guess if you win one or two Super Bowls in 25 years, you're the world's team. Yeah, but of course, also news came out today. Him along with two other teammates or three other teammates are on the COVID-19 reserve list. He tested negative. Hayward tested negative, but they're close contact, so they got to be on their reserve list.
Don't you have to like pass 5 tests?
5 days, or you got to quarantine for 5 days. So he's eligible. He's eligible to come back Saturday. And
And
that's
they all
only
have to be negative.
Yeah, they all have to be negative. He can't have one positive, and if he has one positive, then that's it.
Yeah, that's how Stafford got to play.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if it's not gonna kick us off or what. We probably got like maybe 10 more minutes with this session. But all right, Nick, you can go first on this one.
So first thing I'm going to say is the Cowboys need to quit messing around, acting like they're good. Second thing, that defense, it's shown that it's good, relatively. It has the sparks to be good. And I'll tell you what, Neville Gallimore showing up on the defensive line, I like that. That was something I've been wanting to see all year. Less Tyrone Crawford.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Less
Marcus
Jalen
Lawrence starting to
Smith.
get his sacks. Yeah. He's shown that he's good. I don't know where his mind is this season. I don't
He
know where.
basically lost him the game.
Yeah. So, and you can't. Everyone's dogging on Garrett Gilbert, but you can't expect him to come out there not playing all year, and come out there and just win the game for the Cowboys like that. Sure, he had one like horrible dump pass into the end zone. That was an interception, which was really bad judgment, but he should have just taken a sack or something. That which was really bad. But the Cowboys, it's so hard because they keep acting like they want to win these games, acting like they're good, and you actually start getting some hope. And when you start getting that hope, it's just like, that's why I didn't have the hope in the first place.
Nah, Jared, you can tell when Jared does the interviews on 105 Through This Fan, he wants to lose now. You can tell he doesn't want to win, and he tries to brush it off and
He's
everything.
stressed.
He was also asked about, they have the third pick in the draft right now, and they said, is there a chance you entertain drafting a quarterback? And he shut it down like that. He said, no, he said, what are we doing here, guys? Okay. All right, they removed the 40-minute time frame or whatever, so I guess we're good to go. So sorry about that. Sorry, I paused, but he shut that down immediately. He said that's ridiculous. He said he's not even thinking about that. He said Dak's their quarterback. So I guess I mean, he's probably gonna try to get something done with Dak, and I don't know if he's just blowing smoke everybody's butt or what, but he seemed to got offended about that question. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I really think.
let me just say this real quick. Trayvon Diggs did get hurt, so Jerry said he doesn't know the severity of the injury at the moment. He doesn't know how long he's going to be out, but I think NFL Network say he could be out up to 6 weeks or the rest of the season. And I don't see why you would even let him come back. Just, I mean, he hasn't played all that great, but he showed flashes, and you don't want him to get hurt. And half of the season's already over. You're not a contender. Just go ahead and let Philly or Washington, somebody take the division, because nobody from the NFC East is going to do anything this season. And I think you just let Trayvon Diggs just sit out and just let him heal properly. You don't need to rush him back, destroy his confidence even more, because he's given up a good amount of big plays. But yeah, that's pretty much I want to hit on that. I mean, just Jerry thinks or says Dak is the quarterback going forward.
Yeah. And I think, Dak is going to be the quarterback going forward when he comes back. One more thing I want to hit for the Cowboys is that, it's no secret that I've never been a big fan of Zeke, ever since we drafted him, actually. And
We were
then once
seniors in high
Tony
school
Pollard
when
come in,
they drafted him.
Yeah.
It was our senior year.
And I drafted him number 4 overall. I was like,
Yep.
are you kidding me? Not Jalen Ramsey? I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
I remember that.
But, Zeke, I'm not saying he's not a good running back, because he is, but I don't think for the Dallas Cowboys team. I mean, Tony Pollard came in and he's showing a lot more burst, a lot more quickness, speed. He's 6'2", so I don't see why he wouldn't be an every down back.
Yeah.
And he really just, like, even in this game, I have the stats right here. Tony Pollard went 9 rushes for 57 yards, and Zeke went 18 rushes for 51 yards.
Yeah, a lot of people
And
are
just
saying
with that, that stat line,
that Zeke should start backing up Pollard. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no, yeah,
I don't know.
I completely, like, from just what we're seeing. I mean, you see what's on screen, and you can't deny that Pollard looks better.
Yeah.
Or more fit.
Yeah, but people said that about Drake and Edmonds just had 25 carries for like 60 yards.
You got a very good point.
But Cowboys just need to let their young players play, get some experience. And the Steelers, that was probably a scary moment for Steelers fans
Yeah.
to realize when they're playing down and they can't put up points against probably a top 3 worst defenses in the league right now. And the Steelers probably have the best defense in the league. We know that. But if a team puts up 25 points, they probably have a good chance to win against the Steelers if Big Ben can't push the ball down the field.
Yeah. They're similar to the Seahawks. They rely on their offense, really.
Well, I would say the Seahawks. I mean, Russell Wilson's a beast, runs all the place, throws darts. Big Ben, I would say, is actually might be holding them back, the Steelers back this season. After coming back, he hasn't thrown that many deep balls. Hasn't been as good as he once was.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the injury as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you see them holding Steeler fans holding their breath? Because I mean, that's hard. That's an injury hard to come back from, and one hit could be it, and he'd probably have to call it a career. But I guess we're gonna be moving forward. Or Seth, go ahead.
Even if he clears the COVID protocol, he still might miss.
Yeah.
Because his knees.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, we're gonna move on from the Steelers and Cowboys. We're gonna move on. Nick might want to hit a lot on this game. Dolphins and Cardinals. Dolphins, of course, pulled out a victory, 34-31. They're starting to get rolling. I mean, the AFC East is not looking so bad now. Maybe the Jets can probably go on a run. I mean, that was their first game. Like I said, that was the first game back with all their receivers. Of course, they probably don't want to win, but I mean, next year, there's potentially next year the Jets might be good. The Dolphins are going to be good. The Bills are going to be good, of course. And if the Patriots can figure it out, the Patriots are going to be good. I mean, AFC East is probably on the come up. I mean, these teams are starting to look real good. And I know the AFC East has been representing the AFC in the Super Bowl a lot, and it's only because of the Patriots, of course. And everybody always dogs on their division and say the Patriots would have 6 easy wins, but it's not what it is anymore. And even these teams, even prior years, they never gave us a easy game. But I don't know. It was good seeing a division rival, I guess, in a way. I mean, I didn't want them to win because, of course, we needed them to lose. But they beat a really good team. That was a top offense in the NFL heading into that game, and they slowed down Kyler. Of course, that's actually the game going on right behind me at the moment on NFL Network. Their offense can be scary, but I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Seth, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, just you saying the Jets are going to be good. They're not going to be good if Adam Gase is the head coach. But they have 4 top or first round picks the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good chance for them to rebuild.
Yeah.
Step 1, fire Adam Gase.
Yeah.
Step 2, lock in your quarterback of the future, and then go from there.
You think
and then we
Darnold
can
is
start
that
talking
quarterback?
about the Jets. Darnold, I think if Adam Gase leaves, we could see him play, but I don't think we'll be able to if they draft Lawrence.
Yeah. Lawrence is probably holding his breath. He might just go back
or
to
even
Clemson.
Justin Fields.
But
or the BYU quarterback, I can't remember his name, but he looks real good too. Wilson?
Justin Fields, right?
No, Justin Fields is Ohio State, right?
No.
Trey Lance.
Yeah, whatever. He's looking real good too,
But,
and that's who they're projecting the Patriots to pick up. But I like Cam though, so I mean, Cam really isn't the problem. But I think you do need to draft the quarterback anyways because Cam's getting up there in age. I say we re-sign Cam though for like at least a 2-year contract and just build weapons around him and him groom whoever we draft. But yeah, Seth, do you want to hit on this game?
Just the Cardinals on the offensive side, they ran the ball probably like 30 times if you count Kyler's.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Devontae Adams probably had 3 to 4 targets. I don't think Jordan Howard, not Jordan Howard, but Byron Jones or Xavier Howard are as good as Tre'Davious White. That's probably going to be on Hopkins next week. So it's going to be interesting to see how many targets Hopkins will actually get. I know that probably made their offense not look as good without getting Hopkins involved.
Yeah.
But on the Dolphins side, you can't just not be excited about the Dolphins. Like Tua's doing good. They didn't even have their starting running back in Gaskins.
Yeah. He wasn't playing. He's on IR, I believe, at the
And
moment.
Preston Williams is hurt, but they have Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki. That's good enough for them against the Chargers next week.
Yeah, they
But
should be able to pull it out. I don't know though. Herbert can probably just air him out too much, and because I mean you can't sleep on the Chargers though. They got an offense.
but it was a big win for the Dolphins, and the Cardinals are a good team, and it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean that puts them 2 games above the Patriots, I believe. If they, of course, if they drop 2 more, and the Patriots and they go, I mean the Patriots beat them the first game of the season, so I don't know. They're 4 games behind the Bills. The Patriots are. I don't know. If we lose this game, then you can't lose another one really. So it's going to come down to the very end. But I guess moving forward, Nick, you want to hit on this?
I'll be honest. I wasn't too big on Kyler. I mean, I thought he was going to be good, but I didn't think he'd be leading this team like he is. I will
Kevin
say
gonna
that
whoop
he
your
does.
ass.
I will say that he does need to get Hopkins more involved. I know he has done a good job about that pretty much the entire season. Last game, you saw how they were starting to hurt because it wasn't. I mean, Kyler ran 100 yards in rushing, so that certainly helped. And I think we're seeing a recurring theme here with running backs not really being a problem when you need to win a game. I mean, Cardinals had the rushing side and the passing side, and the Dolphins still won. The Dolphins didn't have rushing at all. I mean, you had Jordan Howard run 10 attempts for 19 yards. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But Tua, he's coming back from that hip injury. Man, like last week I was kind of worried because he didn't look too solid. He had some flashes, some good throws to Mike Gesicki down the sideline and Devontae Adams into the end. I mean, Devontae Parker into the end zone. But this game, he looked really good. I was surprised, and him rushing and his pocket awareness was pretty nice too. I was very surprised this game.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to the last game we're gonna hit on for this past week. Of course, it was a Sunday night game. Saints went up 31-0, and then they ended up finishing 38. And Bucks only didn't score a touchdown. The Bucks only put up 3. Of course, it was Antonio Brown's first game back. Had a few catches, nothing amazing. I mean, of course, he's not gonna really be that effective until probably 3 or 4 games in. He's having to learn the playbook. You can tell there was miscommunication here and there. I didn't feel like Brady was trying to force him the ball too much, but there were times where he did, and that's only because I believe he still doesn't trust Godwin, Miller, or Evans at the moment, and he has some trust with Antonio Brown. Defense, their defense is supposed to be good. They played terrible. The offense played terrible as well. They couldn't convert on third down at all, so they kept doing 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and the Saints would just drive down the field and score. And of course, Brady had a few turnovers. That one of them was, I think he was just frustrated and just threw it up. And he does that when Brady does get frustrated. Because I mean, I grew up watching him. I know when he's frustrated because he'll make some dumb throw, and he's doing it only because he's frustrated. And he made a lot of errors, and I think they get rolling this week. I don't think they'll have a game like this again. Of course, Brady won't have a game like this again because he's usually great at correcting himself. It was a disappointing performance overall, and this was supposed to be the game of the week. And the Jets and the Patriots game was a lot more interesting than this game was. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Bucks, I think they turn it around. Antonio Brown becomes more of a factor. Saints, hopefully they didn't play their Super Bowl. Hopefully they get going because they're the number 1 team in the NFC at the moment. They hold the number 1 seed. They just got to keep going the rest of the way. Michael Thomas, of course, came back. Didn't do too much. Kamara, that's Kamara's team, or Kamara, and that's who they rely on. He's the number 1 back in the NFL at the moment. And I mean, they can just keep their offense going. They'll be all right for the rest of the way. All right, Seth, you want to go first? Or no, Nick, you go first.
So definitely wasn't expecting that end result
Yeah.
for that game. That was pretty bonkers. Very weird. The Saints, I haven't really been big on this season because they haven't been very big. Drew Brees doesn't seem like he's obviously been good, but it doesn't seem like he's being the Drew Brees that you usually see. And we've seen that this season more than any other time. And for the Buccaneers, seeing Leonard Fournette just being phased out like that, it's pretty interesting. I wonder why that is. I guess this is a Ronald Jones run rushing team now. With the Saints, Kamara, if they can get a better rushing team going, I think they could probably take it pretty far.
Yeah. Seth, you got any thoughts?
I just think Buccaneers probably had a game plan, and they got behind pretty big, pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
And one person can't win you the game. It's 22 people, even special teams, if you had that. So I don't think it's just that Tom Brady sucks. It's just an off game.
Yeah, I think
And
it was just off game as well.
Michael Thomas probably wants to take the credit for the big win. He's like, I'm back. We won big.
Yeah.
But he didn't really do much.
I don't see him
he
being with the
probably
Saints.
did off the ball just because he attracts some attention. But I don't know. It's probably a throwaway game for the Bucks. They probably are going to use it to get better throughout the season, and probably a little wake-up call.
What hurts them though is they can't win the division if they tie with the Saints, same record. They need to finish with a better record than the Saints now, just because they got swept by them, and that's the first time Brady's ever been swept by a division opponent. And I think Arians isn't a good. I don't like Arians at all. He throws Brady on the bus too much as well. Like, in my opinion, Arians is just filling in a role. That's Brady's team. That's the truth. Even though he's the head coach, but I mean, Arians wasn't bringing in these players. Leonard Fournette wouldn't have came to the Bucks if Brady wasn't there. Antonio Brown wouldn't have came to the Bucks if Brady was there. And
Rob
I mean,
Gronkowski.
Gronk wouldn't have came to the Bucks. Yeah, exactly. So Arians just needs to stay in his lane and just realize this is Brady's team. He's just filling in the head coaching role.
It's funny that you mentioned that. What?
I was going to say historically, under Arians the first year, quarterbacks usually have bad passer ratings, and they're not usually efficient like Carson Palmer and 30 interception season by Winston.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the norm.
It's exactly what I was about to hit on. And Brady's like one of the first QBs that doesn't have all those turnovers in the first year with Arians.
Yeah.
So I don't think
5
Brady's
right
a problem.
now, I believe, or 7.
Yeah. So I really don't think Brady's a problem.
Yeah. All right. One last thing I want to hit on my side. Of course, the owners, they approved of adding one more team to the playoff bracket. So instead of 7, it'll go to 8. But that's only if major games are canceled, like games that can determine seeding and stuff like that. And so I think that's interesting. So we could possibly, if COVID cancels any games that are major games, of course, like, games that will determine seeding or games determine who's in, who's out. If any of those games are canceled,
there's already one game.
Yeah. So,
the Patriots and Chiefs.
Yeah. But yeah, so we could see a 16-team playoff this year, and of course, you don't want to see that happen because that means that some players are going to get COVID, and that's not something you want to see because, of course, it's not a virus you need to really play around about. And I don't know, but hopefully everybody stays healthy. Not gonna lie, it would be interesting seeing another team added, but of course, I don't want to see that happen because that means players are going to get the virus, and that's not good because they can bring that home to their families, and you don't want to see that happen.
So would that mean there's still 2 teams with a bye, and 4 teams playing the wild card for each division, or does no one have a bye?
I don't think anybody. They were talking about it somewhat, and the dude I heard talking about it, he mentioned something about a bye, and I believe nobody's gonna get a bye then, and certain teams aren't going to get home field advantage now because of it. And I don't know. I don't know all the details yet because I didn't really like pay attention too much to it. I just heard it, and
There
but-
might not be a home field advantage if they do the bubble like
Yeah.
other.
The NFL is trying to keep this thing on a schedule, and they're not realizing that the Super Bowl this year is in Tampa, so you don't have to worry about cold weather. You don't have to worry about an ice bowl game or anything like that because it's in Tampa. So I think the NFL just needs to relax, and games get postponed or canceled. They can just move them on, and just create like another week or two down the road, and they don't have to try to force this. They want to play the Super Bowl on this date because they don't have to because it's in Tampa, and the only reason I would want to play a Super Bowl on that date is to avoid the weather inclements. But it's in Tampa, so I mean they'll be all right.
And the other thing is it's not like it's a surprise that the NFL has more cases than other sports,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the size of the organizations for each team.
Yeah.
Well, even so, I mean, the NBA was in a bubble. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't really compare the two.
so
That
was
doesn't make any
hockey.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and baseball.
Yeah.
So it's someone compares like football with any of those, and you can't compare the two.
Yeah. Is there anything y'all want to hit on before we wrap this up?
Just gonna see if y'all had an upset of the week for this upcoming week.
Dolphins. Oh wait, talking about
Hold up. You know what? Let me
coming up week.
pull up the schedule real quick. It'll be real quick.
While y'all look that up, I was just gonna say, if the Bucks can't pick it up this week against the Panthers could probably have a sneaky upset against them,
Oh yeah.
or the Texans are playing better.
I was about to say
And
that.
the
I was about to say Texans and Browns.
Browns lost OBJ. That's another pick. Texans over the Browns.
I'm gonna hit on two of them real quick. I would say watch out for the Rams and Seahawks. Rams have good receivers. Their quarterback Goff is, I mean, he's not great, but he's not terrible. So I'll watch out for that one. That could be a shootout. And I'd say watch for the Patriots and Ravens game. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan. I'd say watch out for that one because I don't know. Cam probably has some confidence back with that win. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't have too many incompletions. I don't know. Watch out for that one too.
He didn't
Probably
turn over the ball.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think it'll be a fun one. We'll see. I know I got them losing, but I only say that just because I'm trying to jinx it. So hopefully we win. But I don't know. Watch out for that one, and then of course watch out for the Rams and the Seahawks one. I would say that. Of course the Seahawks will probably be favorites, but Rams have a chance, I believe.
Yeah, I'd say they have a chance. I mean, they've shown they have a good team, and they've shown they can get down far and not come back. But my upset for the week is going to be Cincinnati over Pittsburgh by a field goal.
Think Burrow's gonna have a real good game.
Yeah,
But he
Hey,
does.
wait. Is this? Do you think that if Big Ben plays or doesn't play, or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. If Big Ben plays, it'll be by field goal. If he doesn't, then I don't have faith in Hodges or whatever his name is. I don't like him.
Rudolph?
So I bet it's gonna be more. Who?
Isn't it Rudolph still?
Rudolph.
Yeah.
Rudolph. Yeah, he's garbage.
And then, do y'all have a lock team that you think is gonna win, no matter what?
Uh
I was gonna say Steelers over Bengals.
oh.
but
I
then
got one.
scratched it out.
Saints. Saints are gonna beat the 49ers.
And I think the Packers are gonna beat the Jags.
Yeah, those are pretty much
Oh,
locks.
no doubt.
But I probably just jinxed the Saints, and they're gonna end up losing because every time I pick someone, like I have bad luck with picking. Every time I pick a team, if it's like a 10-game thing, I'll get 7 wrong and 3 right. So I probably just jinxed the Saints. But I mean, if there anything else y'all want to hit on before we wrap this up?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank y'all for watching, listening, however y'all do it, because I'm going to post it on YouTube and, of course, on the podcast app. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Seth, for joining me today on Between Downs. Of course, I'm Mark. We'll see y'all next time. We're going to probably be doing this weekly. I don't know. It was fun today. I liked it. So I'm hoping we do it weekly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'll try to probably incorporate just if I find more time, Patriots by themselves. So this isn't as long, and I can just do a little short video about the Patriots and do that real quick. But thank you on this Between Downs with Mark, and of course my guests Seth and Nick. Thank y'all.